actually average longer games than a lot of the other Chinese teams. And they actually play in best-of-2 sets. And the first game, they average 41 minutes, while the second game is 31. So they make a lot of changes within the set that they play a team. These are going to be best-of-1s, though. We'll see how they come out right out of the gates.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 of the All-Star Invitational here in Paris 2014. Picks and bans underway. Fnatic, clearly the home team favorites. How are they going to fare against the Chinese powerhouse that is OMG? Kassadin, the first ban to come out.
Yes.
And that's actually expected because we've seen a lot of these teams are back playing Kassadin.
Yeah, with the recent buffs to Kassadin, he's getting very close to where he used to be. He doesn't quite have the silence, but he's very, very strong against mages, especially in the late game. And as we said, so much focus on the mid lane. You do not want to let a champion like that get through in this game.
Yeah, a lot of research being done for these teams. LeBlanc being taken away from Peke, but more importantly, Fnatic banning out that Syndra. You may be wondering why, but Xiang has played, what, 5-0 on that? I think it was in the Chinese LPL.
Not only does he have good stats, but he also has been able to bully out champions that other mid laners in different regions have said he should not be able to win these matchups. Syndra versus Ziggs. He's getting a CS lead on Ziggs because he's isolated, because he's able to bully his opponent, because he's outplaying his opponent 1 versus 1.
So we also see the Evelyn ban coming in through there. Cynide's been playing that a lot. Pomelo, not too sure whether he's been a big favorite on that one. The Annie ban does surprise me. Yellowstar played it a lot during the start of the LCS, but obviously during the last, what, 2-3 patches, I think it's safe to say, Annie definitely fell away as support.
Yeah, I mean, I even talking to Yellowstar earlier today, he's like, yeah, my top 3 are Morgana and Leona and
Thresh.
No, not Thresh. That's taken away. Karma was the other one. Morgana, Karma, and Leona. So the Annie ban, a bit of a swing and a miss there for OMG.
So Thresh was locked in, as you mentioned. Ziggs was taken away, and I'm interested to see what these mid lane is going to play, because that's a heavy mid lane focus there. So with Thresh locked in to begin with, for Alan, that forces Fnatic into some choices here.
Yeah, the mid lane picks I'm looking at now are Nidalee and Orianna. We're probably going to see one of those longer range champions, more farm-centric for both of these guys. But you're right, a lot of the bans being poured into that mid lane.
Oh, Cynide's got his favorite. That Kha'Zix has been locked in and Reckless on Lucian. So we've all seen it's got 70% pick rate or something crazy like that in Europe now for Lucian. I think North America is very similar.
Lucian definitely one of the highest priority AD carries for the LCS teams. Not quite so with the Asian teams. You know, they favor a lot of these Twitch and Kog'Maw hard late game carries, less mobile, but Reckless does not like that playstyle. He's a very big fan of Lucian. And the Kha'Zix, we're talking about regional differences. In the jungle, there are no regional differences. Kha'Zix is worldwide considered top-tier champion.
Absolutely. Broke onto the scene, of course, when Insect pulled it back out and suddenly everyone, yep, that's what we're going to play. So we see a lock-in for Shyvana and Nunu being locked in for Pomelo. Oh, yeah, it will be Pomelo, no doubt about that one. I'm interested to see how this Shyvana's going to do. Soaz had a great discussion with Shai the other day when we were at the All-Star dinner, talking about nothing counters Lulu in the top lane. He was like, no, Shyvana does.
Yeah, Shyvana,
back and forth for like 5 minutes, and every time he's like, no, Shyvana.
And we still may see that Lulu from Soaz. So we'll have to see him if he can back up those words. But yeah, Shyvana and Nunu being locked in at the same time, that one's really interesting. The Nunu has definitely not made its way over to the LCS. Talking about regional difference here, this is definitely one of them. Used a lot in Korea, more control-oriented, and goes really well with those pick teams because he has a lot of disengage. He also has a pretty big advantage in pushing down towers pretty quickly because the double blood boil, even early on, he can get a pretty good attack speed bonus for both people.
So, double heal potentially coming out here. That will be Karma for Yellowstar and Peke on his Nidalee in that mid lane, which has really risen to dominance across all regions.
And this seems very similar to what Fnatic were using in the playoffs for the Spring Split. So they're very happy with these picks, very comfortable with them, and a lot of poke coming here for Fnatic. Locking in those two is definitely giving away the strategy they're going for with this team.
I would love to see Soaz's face the moment that Lulu got locked in for, I think that's going to be actually Xiang that's going to be playing that Lulu in the mid lane. San also picking up Jinx as the AD carry.
Yeah, it's a great steal away, taking that Lulu away from Soaz, because that is one of the last pieces to this comp that they have been running over and over. And we do see the immobile AD carry, hard late game carry here from Jinx getting locked in as well. Going to work really well with Nunu. early attack speed bonuses, so we will probably be looking at some early towers going down, probably some switches after an invade.
Yeah, the 4-0-3-0, we'll see how it works out for them with the Nunu in. They almost certainly will be following San at the opening of the game. So let's see what the final choice is. It's going to be for SOAS. It's Aurelia that has snuck through, actually really risen to prominence in Europe.
Yeah, because of Senior Wicked.
Hey,
definitely very happy with that champion. He's very close friends with SOAS as well, and they share a lot of strategies. So giving some tips there for Aurelia. Surprised, though, no Jax pickup. It's been really hotly contested across a lot of regions. Very, very hard carry. Opting for the Aurelia, a little bit more assassin base there with that champion. And Aurelia has really started shining because attack speed runes have been a huge buff to her, and she's able to play sort of defensively in the beginning, play around with that low HP level so she can have a stun, and then turn it around on you so quickly that you do not expect it.
So what do we see overall from these? A lot of heals, a lot of shields coming out from both teams.
Right, it's two heavy damage dealers to go in with the Aurelia and the Kazakhs, backed up by the heals and the shields from Karma and Nidalee. They have the option of that late game poke. They're definitely going to want to spread out these team fights, and I'm very interested to see how the mid games goes, because after the turret's going down, the biggest criticism of the Chinese team from teams that have been scribbing them here is the vision control and the mid game objective control. One of the biggest problems, if you don't have the vision down, you can't make the right choices.
We'll see how those rotations go, Kobe. Don't worry. Now that the players have decided on their champions, who do you think is going to win this one? Let us know by tweeting #OMGWin or #FNCWin to @LOL Esports. Make sure you get that @LOL Esports in there to get that vote through.
Yeah, because I think we're going to be updating that too, so we get to see.
Yeah, we will get to see live
as the game plays out. Is the ward control there? I mean, OMG, it's fitting that they brand themselves as the forces of darkness, because a lot of the times their mini-map has been dark for a lot of the game.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd are ready. Are you guys ready? The first game of the All-Star Invitational is underway here in Paris. OMG playing as the blue team up against Fnatic, the hometown favorites, as the red team. And you can hear the crowd.
You can hear it. It looks like they are both going to look for invades on the same side of the map here. Maybe Fnatic will go with the late invade. They've already got that one ward down. Both supports starting with a single true ward as a defensive maneuver. Nothing dropped here from OMG yet, though. Just standing, trying to guard this upper side.
But they are maybe coming straight into the bush. They're going to check this surely with a lantern. Will they? That's the question. Will they check it with the zap? They're going to be the hook instead. They can't cyanide out. The damage doesn't really come down. Instead, it's Pomelo is going to have to try and get away from this one. A fairly even trade between the two. The spears coming out from Peke, still not loaded up on that damage yet. And OMG is still pushing. Yeah, when those hooks land at the max range, it's only a really big deal if the team is right there to capitalize on it with damage. You can see Fnatic were standing far back in that bush. Pretty much everybody blind throws skill shots at that bush when they're coming in, so you know, don't stand in the tip of it. It's actually safer to stand out in the open than to stand in the tip of that bush. So, even trades. We saw a bunch of people back in from both teams. The ward was put down at red buff, though, so they have that vision. That's what they wanted.
Yeah, they're going to see what route Cyanide is taking, and it looks like they are going to do the lane swap. Jinx heading up top here with Thresh, so that will probably be early shoving with the Nunu. It's a very good combination, and even though the top turret does have the champion reduction damage, they've got so much attack speed, I think they'll be fine with it. Kha'Zix is actually one of the junglers that is not very good at pushing down early turrets. So
the invade coming in, Fnatic on top of a ward, so they know that it's here. They know that they're going through it, and you can see the pings also in that top tri-bush, actually, on top of Alan and San. So they are going to have that three-man up towards the top lane. You can see a double invade coming in as well from OMG.
Yeah, the question here is, do you go for the two camp start after your buff and go for the very early second wave push and end up with a very fast-pushing turret that's going to go down? Or do they go for a little bit more experience and get double buffs? This time, it looks like OMG are going to look for the double buffs, whereas Fnatic are doing the one buff, two camps.
Which does mean they should take that tower down early. You can see Cyanide, so as the buddy system, as they take down those golems, the wave comes in and they move onto that tower. That tower's going to go down very quickly. Meanwhile, you can see in the top half of the jungle, OMG have taken that red buff. Now they're going to have the 4-man stack on the top.
Yeah, so there's always trade-offs with the different strategies you have opening up like this, and that's one of the best parts about this opening of the game. Even though Fnatic are getting the early turret shoved down, you give up a little bit of experience by going for that second wave very fast push. Wow, we actually have a recall here for Shyvana. Is he going to actually use the teleport up top, or is he going to try and stall out this bottom push?
Pomelo's gone back as well. They're actually sticking around in that top lane. Meanwhile, Fnatic are pushing. Yeah. I'm not sure they can hold this.
I mean, they don't have a lot of wave clear, those two. And it looks like Fnatic, if they want to stay, they can definitely have the upper hand here and gain some early gold advantage.
Check out that mid lane. Soaz is actually sneaking around the mid lane and towards the backside of Xiong. And she's going to see whether he can get around there. OMG have held off. Xiong, of course, going to be very speedy as Lulu, very easy to get away. And
so the thing is, ganking for an early Nidalee, not usually going to be that really explosive. She doesn't have anything to set you up for a gank, and it would basically just have to be a very high damage spear that she can add to it. Lulu, extremely fast.
Teleport coming in, Soaz defending off successfully on the top wave. It only took half the damage, that turret, so they really didn't get too much of a dent on it.
But you can see that OMG are putting a lot of emphasis on this Jinx, leaving her up here for solo experience. Alan actually waiting in the bush. He's not even trying to soak up the dual experience, and he's going to be recalling, leaving Soaz level 2 to level 4.
You can see Reckless sticking around with Cyanide as well. Doesn't want to go down that way. Push heavily. Good death sentence landing on towards Soaz, along with that Flay, and Alan completely out of tower range. Very well played there.
Deciding to cancel the recall and stick around. Good Flay rewarded with damage. Now the bottom wave is actually going to be pushing out very, very slowly for OMG. So that's good news for Fnatic, and Reckless, as he goes down to also get solo experience for the AD carry, will not have to go too deep in enemy territory, which is crucial, because they do not have ward coverage at this stage of the game.
Ping warning's coming in. Soaz actually on his own in 3v1, but now Cyanide is going to join them here. Here comes Pomelo. You can see Soaz. He's quite happy to stick around. He's going to get caught by the death sentence, then the exhaust, but flashes away. Alan taking a lot of damage from the turret there. Cyanide may try and pounce on that one. Instead, again, successful defense coming out. Soaz went deep.
They still have a blood boil for Jinx, though. He actually put it on Thresh this time, trying to get him move speed maybe to get out of danger. But they have so much attack speed, they can still take down the turret, and
Soaz is going to get the stun on Pomelo. Pomelo taking damage. There is the first blood. Alan may pay the price. Cyanide gets one. He gets two. It's a double for Cyanide. And the double buff working wonders.
The OMG Chinese tower diving mentality is still there. Cyanide double buffs. What are you doing, Sai?
Oh, he flashes the jumpers, but he doesn't quite get the unseen blood. He jumps on towards him, takes the tower damage a little too much. Now he's going to try and turn it around. Has to back out. Can't tower dive. He's still only level 5.
Very risky tower dive from OMG. We talked about it in the early game because Soaz was going to be able to use his low health to surprise people and get the stun. So Cyanide actually was able to help him out too. Another failed gank here for mid lane. Yeah, get a little excited, but it's just a Karma coming in from behind. And again, it's a Nidalee lane, so we're not going to have that explosive mid lane gank.
It's a good start for Fnatic, though, in the opening game. It's all about nerves, really, settling those nerves. And when the crowd is so far behind you, I'm not too sure if they realize just how heavy we're behind them. It's 50-50 split for Ice and Fire, but that game's already passed, so we don't really worry about that one, because it is all about Fnatic right now in the lead over OMG.
Yeah, the crowd is behind them, and they are also playing very, very friendly game here. Cyanide was taking shots for Soaz, trying to block skill shots for him under the turret, keep him alive as long as possible, and it definitely paid off for him. Now the story of the game is going to be, what can this Fed Kha'Zix do? Cyanide was highlighted. We'll have to see where he moves next, because he's trying to go help Soaz out. He's still under pressure here.
Soaz caught out by the death sensors once again and the Flay, but he is hanging on by the skin of his teeth to that turret. I don't think it's going to last any longer. Blood boil down on sand. There is finally that top turret going down for OMG. They invested a lot of time. It took them 7 minutes to get that down.
And it cost them a level 6 Kha'Zix here versus a level 4 Nunu. This is the big discrepancy. Fnatic need to work around a very fed jungler.
Go in on that red buff, so he's going to be clearing that one out. We'll see whether he heads on down, of course. This is the top laner taking away that red buff, because Pomelo's looking at stealing away the red buff. Actually, they're jumping on Sand. He does take the lantern to get out of that one. A good gank attempt from Fnatic, though.
Thank goodness they do have that Thresh to go with the immobile AD carry, because that would have been another kill for Cyanide, and he's already getting out of control. Early Lizard Elder completed increases his gold income so dramatically. Now we do see another fight over the red buff. They don't want to give up the second one, and since San took so much damage, they might actually want to fight this. You see,
coming up.
He's swinging over.
He's going to swing around. He's got those spears, remember, and he's up to level 7. They're going to start doing some damage. Hasn't got a great deal of ability power just yet, and it's a 4-man push on towards getting this red buff. They're really making sure they secure that for Pomelo.
He really needed that too. You could see he got level 5 off that. The levels of the buff carrying jungle camps update automatically, so you get bonus experience if you are under leveled, and that right there just got him a whole bunch catching up to Cyanide.
You can see the crowd. Home favorites are also your guys' favorites watching at home. 77% of you. No surprises there, of course. Pretty much everyone watching is an LCS viewer, so they will go with the team they know. OMG, of course, the big Chinese favorites. That spear not doing quite land on Young there. They are putting some pressure on this mid turret, though. They're working it down.
Right. This was our featured matchup. There was so much action going up top lane that we haven't even been paying attention here. Pekka's been getting a couple of ganks, and the ganks are not going to cause Cyang to worry about his life. However, they did relieve some pressure. And Nidalee actually being up in CS is ridiculous against Lulu, because Lulu can shove her in early. Now that Pekka has hit that point, he's level 6. He's much more comfortable dealing with this Lulu in the mid lane.
The wards go down and the crowd goes wild about it. Blue buff spawning, Cyanide's on it. Pekka definitely wants this one, but you can see OMG investing a lot of time in this one, moving everybody around here. Alan actually caught between Pekka though. Not too sure.
Cyanide has a smite up and he can steal. Oh!
That's going to be locked down, and that's actually pretty serious. Cyanide getting caught out there. Pomelo taking away both the red and the blue buff from Fnatic's jungle now.
Like to see Nunu making use of the kit to counter jungle. A lot of times we've seen that falling off, but Pomelo is doing a great job, and they also are controlling the dragon after the blue steal. Because of the deep wards that they have, they see Fnatic back off, and they take another objective for themselves.
They were so confident that that was already secured, going teleported before they even took that dragon up to that top lane to prevent SOAS from pushing on that tower. So OMG step themselves close to leading now in gold. It's very much even between the two, but of course, with that dragon down, you got to feel OMG starting to swing this game in their favor.
They are. Fnatic still have the mobility advantage. They're definitely going to want to spread this one out, and they haven't really been able to use Cyanide. Even though he did get that fed, they were getting more counter jungled, and OMG want to take down the last outer turret so that they can actually continue the counter jungling.
May well do it. That Death Sentence doesn't land, but the tower will go down. Fnatic trying to repel them here. You can see SOAS and Reckless were completely out of position. Reckless, we should add, has got a giant farm lead over Sand right now. You can see it's nearly 30 CS there, but they've been off the side lanes. They've not been playing the objective game, which OMG have already moved into. Yeah, people were criticizing the Chinese scene for the lack of focus there, but OMG are showing up very big here. They made the right move so far. Dragon plus the mid turret without an answer from Fnatic, and it's very hard for Fnatic to answer this as well because of the blue buff on Nidalee, or on Lulu. Such great wave clear from her. Yeah, and of course, Nidalee, as you mentioned earlier on, is not going to be a strong force early on. Has to sit back, farm. Although, watching the Faker game the other day for SK Telecom versus Samsung Ozone, Faker plays Nidalee a little bit different than anyone else. Gets in there in Cougar form. But at the moment, Fnatic are putting pressure on towards this mid-turret. They've got a good bit of damage on towards it. Young taking some serious damage off the backside as well. Yeah, great poke landing onto him affords them a lot of turret damage. That 2 skill shots hitting, Yellowstar and Peke both find home, and they're rewarded with the turret. So, going, defending off that top lane. So as going back to base, heading towards that Triforce early on Aurelia. We've seen that many times before, so at least Freak will certainly be happy that the tons of damage will be done. I also like the build here for Shyvana, going for the early cut list, looking for a blade, just because they don't need double tanks. Nunu in the late game likes to soak up damage. He's definitely a utility jungler, so they wanted another damage source, and he's going to bring it. 4 members of Fnatic closing in towards this top lane on going, puts the ward down, but down in the tri-bush beneath him is Peke and Yellowstar. We'll see whether they decide to move around there. Peke is going to face check in towards going. We'll just pounce over the river.
Oh, no, he won't.
Oh, had to flash there instead. He won't be happy with that. That's a cooldown.
He failed the jump to just juke go going. It was all planned.
Yellowstar, no mana on this one. They're actually landing the inner flame. Xiang's going to be the focus here. Soaz dives in towards him, gets the stun down, has to use the wild growth to save himself. Absolute zero coming out from Pomelo, and they will save himself. That was a close encounter, but nobody going down.
Great zoning there from Pomelo. Using the absolute zero to stop that aggression because Fnatic really need to catch someone. What an interrupt from Allen, but it might cost him his life.
Trying to do a mad life. I'm not sure it's going to work out this time because Soaz is going to try and turn it back around. One more blade surge to the colleague. Doing the damage. Reckless gets himself the kill. He comes across. Pomelo's going to be the next focus target. Soaz has got his stun available, but they're not going to tower dive yet.
But that sacrifice was all for this bottom lane. Look where the teleport was trying to go. It's Jinx alone with a turret. That means the turret has no chance.
Well, Soaz is back in just out of the side of that ward, but as you mentioned, San will take this tower down, so that's going to be 3-2 in favor of them, making sure the tower does all the damage to the minions before it goes down, making sure he secures that one. So, despite the kill advantage for Fnatic, it is advantage OMG so far in terms of gold and towers.
And look at the builds here, too. They're going all damage from pretty much everybody. So they're going to have to rely on getting those picks.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Soaz is going for the chase.
He's going to flash the Chompers. He hasn't got another blade surge available. Instead, he's going to get caught out by the stun there. Will get slowed down. Soaz trying to put the damage down, but the support, the teleport being called in, going, cancels it out there, but it's enough to save San.
So he gets a half teleport for his flash cooldown. Interesting little trade there. Soaz wanted to take advantage of the lack of tower for San to retreat to. But it was basically a pretty even trade.
This is a tense opening game between these two teams, both clearly trying to see who can poke an advantage. And at the moment, Fnatic, they're making a move on towards his top lane turret. You can see 4 members closing in here. Goin's going aggressive. He's going to try and push it in there. You can see Peke. Is he going to catch him out there? The exhaust goes down. Yellowstar putting the damage down. One more hit, but it's not enough. The minion wave is not with them.
Goes aggressive at the wrong time, but doesn't really pay for it. They get the exhaust out of Peke. Yes, they are going to have to give up this turret, but that's because Fnatic commit 4 members up to this top side. So many resources up top side means that OMG can answer by shoving up mid.
So 3-3 in turrets. All outer turrets now down for both teams. We'll see who is going to go aggressive. Who's going to really make that first push in towards the inners, because at the moment OMG have a big push in this mid lane and Fnatic are not really that close to defend it.
So Fnatic actually had 2 waves that they were pushing right there. Pretty good pressure on both top and bottom, and yet they relieve all that pressure. Both lanes recall and they try to collapse to defend mid instead. Let's see if this pays off. They might be able to cut off one person.
The spears land in. Peke's trying to sneak around that side there. Isn't going to go too aggressive on this one. A pretty close range spear does land on Xiang. Xiang manages to get that picks down on him and will stop him in his tracks with that glitter land. So Fnatic react, but while this is all happening, San has been gaining ground on Reckless.
He is shoving a lot of solo lane experience here, but really the dragon coming up soon is the next story, because Fnatic just got some good spears on Allen. Looks like he's just been chugging health potions though, so won't hurt them too bad. Going for one of these dragons when OMG are in place is very dangerous because of the smite, consume, and flash available for Pomelo. The steal potential is very, very high for this, even though Cyanide is known to have great smite control. It's going to be difficult.
Exhaust is down for Yellowstar. That's really the only summoner spell from their side. So he's getting hooked in. He's not too worried about that, but he's going to get caught out. A lot of damage come down. Absolutely zero. They still don't quite take Soaz down. One more hit. There it is. San manages to get one down. They're going to chose on towards it. Super Mega Death Rocket already used, so he can't be finishing off on Reckless. Peke getting chased down. Pounces away from that death sentence of Allen. He's not going to be able to close the ground. Goes going, trying to catch in towards there. But that was a good fight for OMG.
Yeah, they're the ones that want to take these team fights around Dragon. They've got the Shyvana. They have the mid-game tank here. Fnatic are the poke-heavy team. They need to land spears. They have to land empowered karma Qs before the fight starts. If they get engaged on like that, the death sentence, that's going to mean a big win for OMG, rewarded with another dragon, and their global gold goes up again.
Gold advantage, as you say, in OMG's favor now. The blue buff was stolen away last time. Pomelo taking a spear to the face, but the rest of OMG are here to defend, and Peke really is going to need that. That's a big spear on Pomelo. That will force him away from this blue buff for now.
Another poke landing there from Yellowstar on the exit, but really, this is only a small win for Fnatic. Just the consolation prize. They already made the mistake, starting up the dragon themselves, taking the team fight without landing the poke. Yes, they will have the blue buff Nidalee spears to rely on, though, to buy them a little bit of time.
So, Soaz will return to the top lane, needs to get some of that farm going, get that Aurelia build stacking out, because at the moment he's kind of half-heartedly between everything, whereas going already with that Ninja Tabi, that Giant's Belt, and as he mentioned, that build toward a Cutlass building up towards that Blade of the Rune King. Really got a good build going already.
And I mentioned the tank of Shyvana just because Soaz is going full damage and speed build here.
Yeah.
Very early upgrade for his boots. He's extremely squishy. They need to make use of that mobility. If that's what they're going to invest in, that's what they're relying on. It's not pure combat stats. They don't want to take full-on 5-on-5 fights. They want to try and catch people out, try and take advantage of the positioning from OMG. But OMG's warding has been very good, and their objective control has been stellar.
Backing away, we'll see what he picks up as his second item. Seen a number of second items coming out. Will he go with that Legolas build? He's got this Berserker Greaves complete, and I think that is all he's going to stick with. There's the Zeal, that's what I was waiting for. So he's going for the Zeal in there. Reckless, of course, a little bit behind, despite the fact getting that CS advantage, has yet to go back and buy. Red buff is where the focus
another
is.
hook.
Death Sentence land, Cyanide not going to get drawn in, but with Xiang coming in to help out, Yellowstar's getting picked out. He's going to get forced away. Soa's getting drawn into this fight. Everything being fought for these buffs so far.
Fnatic are calling over Reckless as well. They don't want to give this one up.
Spear caught in. Soaz did get the reset on the play surge, but you can see the absolute zero gets knocked back into it. Soaz taken so low. He's got next to no health stats here, and he's going to get caught out by the rest of OMG. There's going to be the final kill. Allen's going to flash away as well to safety. Cyanide now caught out, trying to use that stealth, trying to pounce away. Wild Growth is going to bounce him back in the air. They keep him at bay just a little bit there. There's the Culling doing. Oh! Sun taken so low. The spear not enough though. Beckett's going to chase. The inner flame lands from Yellowstar. The spear does manage to find his target. Sun goes down. Beckett closes it in. Allen now caught out. It's a double for Beckett.
And Pamella's out of mana. Here's the speed from Fnatic. They're able to chase. Great job there from Yellowstar, keeping the steam boosted up. And can they get any more? This is way too early for Baron, but they've got 2 kills. They have control of the map. It's just a sad story for them because the waves are not pushed up. The biggest thing they can get is this blue buff.
But I think we're starting to see the turning tides. This is what happens when that Nidalee, the spear starts to land there. Pomelo is not going to be able to get it away. The blue buff has already been taken away, so Fnatic get a tiny objective from all that, but it was an very even traded fight there for a while.
Let's look at this again, because Soaz, as we said, he doesn't have combat stats, so basically he knows he can't fight this and he's just trying to run away. A lot is used on him though, and the Lantern specifically being used this early is very big. Allen has to use everything he has, so he has nothing to save Zahn when those important abilities do land onto the AD carry. And if we see as soon as they thread one through here, the culling and the spear both getting through to hit the AD carry, that's the main damage source of this team. That is the heart of this team. When he gets this low, they have to start running away, but they're frantically running away. Peke again showing his marksmanship there, threading the needle twice in a row, saving his team's red side jungle.
More importantly for Peke, he's so close to getting that death cap complete now that spears are just going to get stronger from here on out. Xiang, of course, a little bit more of a utility on Lulu, but also very helpful. And it is, as we saw in that fight there, OMG, last time they've been around that dragon, the utility, everybody works as a great team fight. Pomelo, of course, getting that blood ball down on Sand. So we'll see how it works out next time they face. At the moment, though, Soaz is getting ever so closer towards that Trinity Force. Sunfire Cape now coming in for going in that next fight. It should be fight.
Uh-oh, another hook onto Peke!
Oh, Peke in trouble. I'm not sure he's going to get out of this time. Absolutely exploded by the Super Mega Death Rocket of Sand.
Allen is coming up huge for OMG here. Turns this completely around. Peke was the biggest thing keeping Fnatic in this game, throwing out those spears mid-game, and now he's not going to be up for this turret. Allen basically just got them this turret by himself.
You know, you think back to Royal Gaming, they actually really lost out in the lane phase back in their World Championships. At the moment, they're getting picked off, which is something Fnatic do so well. They are being beaten in their own game right now, getting caught out in those lanes. Soaz again, he's having to stay in that top lane for so long to keep that farm going.
They are doing the right things, though. They're defensively warding their own jungle. Another hook!
Another hook. This time, they're not going to grasp on it. You can see Cyanide was out there. The play actually misses, forces the lead there. But coming straight in, going with the Wild Growth, bounces them all in the air. Yellowstar taking so low. Absolutely zero pops out, and it's another kill for OMG.
They get another hook. They get another kill. Great flank from Going as well. They were going to escape with that one, but he gets into position for the Lulu ultimate, enough to get a kill. And that's going to award them another blue buff, 18 seconds till Dragon. If they could also take the Dragon, this is very fortunate timing for OMG.
A lot of ultimates used in that last fight, though. We need to remember that. We saw the Wild Growth being pumped out, as well as the Absolute Zero. Super Mega Death Rocket is available, and OMG Allen with those death sentence so close to catching Peke once again here. Teleport is not available for Soaz either, so he has to make tracks, and you can see him already heading down to Dragon now.
Yeah, even though Peke and Cyanide are there, they have a very, very dangerous time even trying to get close to this. Should probably just back off. They can't risk another one of these hooks turning into an extra kill.
It's a big Dragon. It's gone down
got
already. The hook again. Yellowstar caught out. No teleport, no flash this time around. He's going to get caught out. It's another Super Mega Death Rocket finish from San.
I mean, you gotta reward Allen there. He almost died for that one, and he's getting hook after hook after hook. Complete control here from OMG now.
Definitely showing that Thresh needs to be a ban potentially against him in future games. Of course, this is the opening game, so this is where everybody else will be watching because everybody plays everybody in this matchup. It is a full round robin. Everybody will take in all the research notes from this matchup.
Yeah, speaking of everybody playing everybody, Allen himself was a jungler as well.
Yeah.
He plays multiple
Formerly
roles.
Loveland, of course, everybody should know that.
At World. So he plays multiple roles at the highest level, and it's great to see him back on support. Still at home. I mean, both these guys actually prefer jungle, him and Pomelo, but the switch has actually worked out pretty well for them.
Peke getting caught out, and a lot of damage coming out from Jiyoung this time around, putting that picks down, keeping that little ants on him and slowing him down. He's also clearing out the wards there. Yellowstar got to be careful because he's been caught out by that death sentence a number of times. Triforce now completed by Soaz, but look at Go Going. He's now got the Sunfire Cape and the Blade of the Rune King complete.
Yeah, he's a beast right now. The tank difference right now with OMG and with Fnatic means everything. That's why the team fights, it's always Fnatic that have to do some kiting. They have to be able to get around some sort of wall or kite through the jungle here somewhere because they can't take a full-on 5-on-5 team fight.
So let's look across the map and maybe take note. You know, we were talking about it at the start of the game, the vision that is available. You can see Fnatic, they're clearly just defending their base. They have got good vision in their own jungle, though,
yes.
but OMG, all in Fnatic's jungle.
You can see they're doing everything they possibly can to avoid getting picked off more. That's what they have to do. They just have to hope for them to actually get the jump on OMG. Hope that OMG get a little lazy in their moves and try and catch somebody off guard.
Well, the red buff is again going to be the focus target. OMG making sure they starve every little resource from Fnatic. Cyanide not
4 vs. 5.
having
4 vs. 5.
He gets pulled in there. You can see Allen, the death sentence flung out once again, and Cyanide gets hooked in. Flashes out, but it's not going to help out. That stealth is only going to last so long, and it's another kill for OMG.
There's Fnatic, they cannot contest these, especially when they have the numbers going against them. Peke was all the way down bottom lane farming with Nidalee. There's no way that Cyanide can get anything in this red side jungle. The best he could hope for would be a Smite Steal to get away his own red buff, but they're just continuing to give away more kills.
Peke bouncing just at the right time there. The Inner Flame also stopping Allen, but if that would have been Yellowstar taking that step closer, it would have been problems. Allen does eat a spear from Peke, but they're just trying to bait them in towards that Baron.
And it's working. They have complete vision control over it. Fnatic, however, you could see how trepid they were around that bush. Peke, though, this time he gets caught again.
Allen follows through, throws out the lantern, Sand drawn in there. Peke doesn't have the flash available to him. He got caught on the wall, and the mid laner is down. That's going to be Baron.
Another hook, another kill, and another objective, this time forcing. Okay, this is Fnatic's actually window to get back in. If they can miraculously steal this Baron, then they can turtle and hope to get back in the game.
It's going to be so hard for Cyanide. Soaz risks it to get in there and try and get a ward in. You can see he's going to have to jump in, but he's against the Smite.
He goes for it!
Goes in towards it, gets it! Oh my! Cyanide manages to steal it! That's what they needed. He pays the price with his life, but that was such an important Smite steal from Cyanide.
Cyanide comes up huge! No flash, so he has to use his jump to get in. There's no coming out. He knew this was a one-way ticket into the Baron pit, but it was successful. He got the Baron, and now is their time for stalling. They closed a little bit of the gold lead, and they also can rely on Nidalee Spears. If they defend, let's let the home team have their time. But yes, if they can defend, they can buy more time. They need to just play one team fight really well without having somebody get caught out early. I mean, they have the capabilities to split up, to kite this team. They just haven't been able to do it because somebody is always getting hooked right at the beginning.
They don't have the guy that can go in and just take the damage in the first place. Sometimes it's Cyanide, but again, Yellowstar getting caught out. The spear does come out from Peke, catching Pomelo, but it gets gained. OMG, all about objective control, coming in, starving the resources, and it's the blue buff again they're coming on for. Pomelo taking yet more damage this time around. He will steal the blue buff again from Peke.
Pretty big win for them. Even though Fnatic have the purple buff, blue buff is still crucial to their style. They need that on Peke. However, in the late game, it's not quite as big of a deal. He does have the Athenes to rely on, and it is going to be a bit slower of mid-game right now because they're just trying to catch up in gold.
Well, we could talk about San because he's at 5-1-2 now, right now. That Super Mega Death Rocket being used to execute every single time somebody gets caught out. And Alan generally being the lead man, building towards that face of the mountain.
And if you're going to play Jinx, this is the type of team that you want to play Jinx in because your front line has the advantage. You're constantly making Fnatic retreat and run away from you, so Jinx doesn't have to worry about getting dove. He's not in any pressure from Soaz, from Cyanide, who are the ones who are going to be trying to dive in on him. He's always on the offensive here. And even if he does get a little bit too far forward, he's always got Alan to rely on for the Thresh Lantern.
With the Dragon up in 12 seconds, Fnatic are trying to get themselves in position. We saw Soaz considered backing off there, but he sees Go going here. He's going to stick around, see if he can shove the wave a little bit longer. Dragon is now up, and Fnatic actually in position to try and start this one.
Going does have his teleport though, so this is very dangerous. There are deep wards. He could teleport behind and flank them.
He's going to see whether he comes in. There he is. He's coming in towards the bush just off the side. Does not get in. That you can see the Dragon taken solo. Cyanide tries to get in. Can't smite it out this time. Going pounces on towards him. Cyanide fancies this fight, but the rest of his team are peeling off there. They're trying to poke the Culling coming out. This is a good the execute from San lands. Reckless gets pinned down by Xiang, and the rest of Fnatic, they have to back away again. Peke's in middle ground. Where's he going to get caught out? He's behind enemy lines. Will San check out that bush? Yes, he will. Peke's made a miraculous escape before, but look at that damage from San. He's trying to pounce. He's got the help from Yellowstar. Soaz comes around there. They do manage to land the inner flame, and now Pomelo might be focused in the target. No, he's going to get away. Fnatic have to back away. The rest of OMG are responding.
Talked about how offensively San's playing, but it looks like Fnatic are not out of the woods. Lulu coming down from top as well. They're going to try and cut him.
Going comes around the side. Yellowstar slowed down. Here comes Xiang. Will manage to catch on. Yellowstar taken so low. He's going to be the one to drop. Soaz is next. That's going to be a second for San again on a killing spree here. One more shot. He's just massacring Fnatic right now. 8-1-4 for the AD carry.
Another amazing collapse from OMG. They let Fnatic start up the Dragon, and they rely on the deep ward, teleporting in there, going, coming in and cutting off the entire team, and then we get to see more aggressive play for San. He got the kill with the Super Mega Death Rocket, and once he got excited, he then flashes over the wall for another kill.
With the armor and the shields, you see going happily tanking out that turret. That's going to be one inhib going down as well. And OMG, well, will they stick around to push at the moment? Fnatic are just about respawning. They're going to play it safe for now, but that is Fnatic's base wide open.
So this is the hide and go seek here from Peke. He waits in long enough for the rest of his team to come down, so he will escape for a little bit. But Fnatic trying to aggress on these two members is a little bit too much. They do see going. So they see Shyvana. At this point, they're trying to retreat, but they also do not have wards deep enough to see Lulu cutting them off. And that's really going to be the end of the story for them, because Lulu coming in with the ultimate is enough CC, and it actually costs Fnatic 2 more members of their lives to get Peke out of there. And he doesn't even get out.
Yeah, the get excited comes out for San, speeds in through there, and now he is an absolute beast. Phantom Dance, Infinity Edge, and Bloodthirst are all completed. Doesn't need to go for the armor really, the last Whisper yet, because there's no armor really built up. Finally, we're starting to see Cyanide and Soaz stacking out some of that armor. They're starting to build some of those items, but it's a little bit too late at 32 minutes.
Yeah, we're seeing why. Fnatic, they built all offensively. If this team gets behind, it's very hard for them to come back, because their 2 frontliners, Soaz and Cyanide, looking to dive in, build very offensively early, and they rely on poke. So they don't have a lot of really good hard engage. They can't take those team fights. Once this OMG team does get the early lead, it's just been too hard for Fnatic to get back into it, giving away way too many picks.
So 10,000 gold lead almost built up now for OMG. The Baron up in just a minute time, but not really being the focus by OMG. They are all about the objectives. You can see now they have those 6 turrets down. The super minions will be pushing that bottom wave. And the mid lane now seems to be the focus for Go-Going, at least as the rest of the team gather to once again steal that blue buff away from Fnatic.
All right, they're gonna go aggressive here on Go-Going, but he's the main tank as we talked about. He got a good start, and he's never looked back. After the early Cutlass went into some tank stats, and he's even been able to finish his Blade of the Ruined King. So even though Reckless on Lucian, more mobile than Jinx, has a ridiculously hard time of staying alive.
Fnatic are grouping, they're keeping defensive formation in this middle. This is where they suspect the pressure's gonna come in from OMG. But you can see San, he's actually taking the blue buff of his own. So Sam with the double stacks, level 17 as well. You can see the level advantage that OMG have built up over Fnatic. It's generally 2 levels per player over Fnatic right now. That's a big problem.
It's a huge problem. They cannot, again, get through the zoning of a full tank Nunu and this beastly Shyvana with how far Soaz and Cyanide are behind. So they have to rely on picking somebody off while they're by themselves, or some amazingly ridiculous spears from Peke landing on the high priority target. Another pick!
Oh, Yellowstar once again caught out with the death sentence. Will not. Yes, he will go down. He gets exhausted out there. The rest of OMG claps in towards Soaz, gets pulled into the team. He can't escape. The culling doing next to no damage right now. Soaz will drop. That's 2 kills for OMG and the tower as well as they push through for the inhibitor in the top.
And Allen taking one of those kills, well deserved this one. Ridiculous death sentences all game long. Second inhibitor gonna go down. This might even be the end of the game.
I mean, you gotta say 100% kill participation from Allen so far. 16 kills in the entire game, a 1-3-15 result. Allen has really stepped it up as the support.
Because he's the one getting all the catches. He's starting off all of these fights.
Fantastic performance. OMG back off again. Second inhibitor is now down. Baron is up as everybody passes over that wall. This is the catch once again.
All right, Yellowstar had his speed boost, but he was just walking back and forth in the bush. And another good hook, another good kill. Actually, they flashed over even further, hooking Soaz through the box so that he secured not 1, but 2 there for Allen.
And there goes the Baron. OMG in full control right now of Fnatic. They have shown up to be the dominant force we expected them to be. They really have absolutely stamped their authority on the Chinese LPL, and they're showing right now why.
There were some bright spots for Fnatic, though. We had the spears from Xpeke in the red side to get them back into the game, landing 2 crucial spears directly onto San through the entire enemy team. Almost got them back in, and then Cyanide as well did his part, stealing away the Baron, but it was only a brief respite awarded to them, and they've just been crushed now. When we see these types of teams come back, these poke-heavy, assassin-heavy teams, it's when they still have all their inhibitor turrets up, and they're able to turtle out and defend at those, try and capitalize on a mistake by their enemies. But OMG already have 2 down, so it's a pretty clear path for them to victory.
And it's been a clear pick game for OMG every step of the way. As you mentioned, their death sentences so often leading the way. They are clearing out every single objective now. You know, you mentioned that they have the longest average game in the Chinese LPL, but clearly they do it systematically by the numbers as they seem to be doing right now and driving in towards it. That inhibitor has respawned, but it's not going to stay there for long. Fnatic are going to have to throw all their eggs in one basket at these Nexus turrets. Again, death sentence thrown out, does not land this time. They're trying to get some poke onto Allen, but now he's so tanky that really it's not making too much dent.
Rotating over to the mid lane. Now this is a good rotation. From the bottom, sort of circular movement here up to the mid.
Pivoting around the Nexus
Beautiful.
turret. I see what they did. I see what they did. Look at this. The tanking, the damage. They can just shield through everything that inhibitor turret can go through them. They tank it all out. That's the inhibitor turret going down. The final one of the game. And now they focus on towards Cyanide. He has to leap away. They're pounced away from this one. They're trying to keep the super minions away from the Nexus turret. The Nexus turret almost taken down. Soaz on next. Another Glitterlance coming through there. Another play from Allen keeps him away. The Colin is merely massaging that turret right now. The Nexus turrets will drop, and that final Nexus is all that is standing between OMG taking victory. The catch out one, that's going to be Peke going down. Cyanide caught out the side. The rockets from Sand going left and right. Soaz getting focused down. Sand with a minigun now gets himself the double kill. Cyanide escapes, but not for long as Yang finds him with the picks. That is going to be game and a triple kill for Sand. OMG take game one at All Stars Paris.
Well played by the forces of darkness here. OMG come out huge, and they did not look to have that lack of vision control that people were talking about from scrims. They kept their ward line slowly encroaching into Fnatic's territory, and they got pick after pick after pick inside Fnatic's own jungle.
It was a good start for Fnatic. Let's not take that away from them. There was definitely signs at the beginning, and OMG actually had a very slow start, in all fairness, with the pushes in the top lane, but it did work out for them. And once they got their flow going, once they got their rotations going, they really seemed unstoppable.
Quite a beautiful game, actually. Close